What's up, my homies?
What's
We
up?
are the real Logans.
We are.
Hey, hopefully everybody knows by now. John of the Logan Home Group of Real Broker LLC.
This is the first time that you've gone in depth of our introduction.
I just realized that. It was before I was like, what?
Even
People-
like our introductory episode, we didn't do that.
I know. Maybe we'll do some like crazy like flashbang pow intro where it's like.
Anyways,
All right. So we're gonna do a second part of that PCS series. What they don't tell you about moving. That first episode, that recap was it was pretty good in my opinion. It was a lot of information. It could have been more information, but we didn't want to like turn it into this like long drawn out like episode where people are just like, okay, gosh, this is
right. I mean, we did do 2 takes of that one just because the first
There
one
is-
just kept going in circles.
because there's that much. Well,
There's a lot of information.
yeah, and like I said with the circles, I mean like everything kind of goes back.
Right.
It's a.
I'm not saying it was bad.
No, I know, but it's a revolving. It is a circle of of how it goes down.
Right.
I mean, like you gotta make sure you pay attention to certain things.
100%.
And
We're just trying to keep it organized.
well,
now.
yeah, 100%. But from
Yeah.
the experience piece of things too, it's one of those where like, I just couldn't I couldn't not reiterate this. A lot of the things that I thought were important that not so much I wish that I knew during PCS, because I PCSed alone, which was fine. I didn't have kids to worry about schools, but it was one of those things as far as like how to get to where I got to go in a timely fashion and save as much money and get there, check in, whatever else, and make sure I'm good to go without having to worry about where I'm living. So this part 2 is going to be, what do we got here? It says in your notes that you decided to keep track with.
Right.
Myths about the cost of housing myths that cost military. Go for it. I'm on you.
Okay. So we're going to do a couple myths, and I'm going to give you what the myth is, and then you can go into it, right?
Okay. Now, just understand these myths are like, hey, look, they could or couldn't be. They could, some things with the VA loan and
Some
moving,
advice that you've received
yeah,
may or may not be good.
received, experienced. It's just some of these stuff too is just like one off. Like, oh my god, that happened.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, some of the checklists that the military will give you to go through these moves might be outdated.
I mean, I broke out a checklist last night for a listing appointment for a PCS move, and it was one of those where like, out of everything in our listing packet that's like informative, like dude was like glued to that list.
Good.
I was like,
Boom. Okay. So myth number 1. You should always buy when you're PCSing.
no. You should buy when the time is right for you.
Okay.
And that goes with anything. Not just a PCS.
Correct.
Everybody always talks like, oh, now's the time to buy.
Even relocations for corporate jobs.
I mean,
Same
that
concept.
could be different because you might have to buy in order to like receive some of the perks because of the relocation piece there.
Oh, touche.
But with a military move, you don't have to, you don't have to buy. But I was saying like just not a VA or PCS move, like it's people always say it's always the right time to buy, which is true just to build that equity, the net worth, the whole thing. But it's got to be the right time for you.
Is it in your season of life?
I mean, if it's in your season of life with what you're doing, I see what you're doing. But, within your season of life, within your PCS, it all depends on where you're at within your career.
Okay.
So there's your season of life.
So no, the answer is not.
Correct.
There's the option of base housing. There's the option of renting.
Yep.
There's the option of purchasing.
Yep.
And it's all going to be dependent on how we touched base on this in the last episode.
Yep.
It's all going to be dependent on how long are you here for?
Correct.
Does it financially make sense for you?
Yeah.
Or are you holding on to cash as well? Because obviously you don't want to be house poor.
No,
So
that's one of those things too from I think we touched a little bit before was like the sticker shock of coming to the DMV and understanding what you're getting versus what you would get in the Midwest down south. It's a completely different beast.
exactly.
People come here from Florida and they're like, oh, I want this.
Okay. Are you ready for the second one?
Sure.
Myth number 2.
Ooh.
Ready?
Go.
Base housing is a safe choice.
That's a situation dictates. Base housing could be a safe choice financially. It could be a safe choice for your family because of what you do in life and how you want to have your life experiences. I want to live 5 minutes from work. I want to live 10 minutes from the convenience factor. Trying to be someone's financial fiduciary when we're buying a home. I would always say base housing is temporary. If you can't find something on the way, fine, cool. Let's get you into base housing, get you on the list.
We've had a lot of clients too that
we've
been on the list and they just don't get approved by the time they get here.
We had a guy that was did 6 months in an Airbnb waiting to get into base housing. Like 6 months in Airbnb. It was a cheaper one because his BH covered it, which is cool.
Still not ideal.
No, not at all. But for the myth part, you said it's a safe bet, right? Or a safe place?
It's a safe choice.
Safe choice. Yes, I will say it is a safe choice if it's not in the cards for you to purchase.
Sure.
If it's one of those where we've exhausted all means finding a home, you're not ready to buy a home, you don't want to buy a home, you're here for 2 years, 3 years, say you're on an 18-month TDY. Obviously they're not getting like straight flat orders to be here, but I have had people on TDY buy houses here, and they were like, "Well, I'll be here for like 2 years."
Okay. Yes, that's purchasing at that point. If you're here for 2 years, not completely ideal because then you have to think about the.
But that's one of the things too. Understanding from people listening, if they're listening in here, like direct orders, like base to base is one thing from like PCSing, but of like temporary duty station.
Yeah.
People are buying if you're here for 2 years,
right?
Well, the temporary duty station for an extended period of time, like I said, we had a guy that was on TDY for 2 years, and he's like, "I'm just gonna buy a house because I can. I make enough money. Let's do it." Like, okay, what are you gonna do with this house? Rent it out.
Exactly. At least he had a plan.
Exactly.
In place.
So it's cool. I like getting more myths. I love this.
Yeah, I have a total of 4.
Keep rocking.
Okay.
All right.
Ready? Because it's nationally used. Myth number 3, Zillow knows the market. I know you love Zillow. Zillow talks.
As a professional realtor, I use Zillow because you kind of have to have it on your side, because when the consumer comes at you with a Zestimate, you need to make sure that you know what that Zestimate is and what that Zestimate is based around.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And especially when a buyer comes and says, "The Zestimate says this, but it's priced at this." Like, what's going on here? Like, it's like a tax assessment. It's essentially like grouped in national averages. But I would say that Zillow is not a safe bet to use entirely for your home search. It is a tool you should use on top of every other tool that's out there. Your agent's personal website with listings, your Bright MLS listings, or whatever MLS someone has them set up on.
Local team.
Yeah, your local team. Even to go as far as like, because I always say this with people, is like, "Hey, I'm gonna do this and this, my MLS, and I got you on our website feed, so you can look where the hell you want." But that site essentially mirrors the MLS,
right? And
it's just like Zillow, but it doesn't have a gajillion options to pick with what you want in your home. Because if you go to Zillow and pick all those boxes, next thing you know, there's no
right.
There's no selection because you've just honed in on a custom build.
Yeah, and then you can also, with the Zillow thing, you're doing a market area, and obviously that market area doesn't know.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, Kev. That market area that Zillow has doesn't know like commute times and stuff that we've hit on in the last episode too.
Yeah.
So the smaller markets, how long it takes to get into base from X place.
Yeah. I tell people with Zillow, use Zillow like, I'm going to send you listings through my system, and you're going to be able to find things on my system. But but I do want you to use Zillow, Redfin, Trulia. Like, I want you to use all those sites, because how our criteria is set up is we have a broad system to where, like, it's like on our questionnaire, what do you want? But then like it might not send you what Zillow has, and Zillow might not have what I send you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Zillow's good for shopping, but not for honing in and actually making the financial decision.
No, I wouldn't say that. If we're gonna get into that, that's one of those where like Zillow, the consumer can go figure out Zillow for themselves and how that works. But a lot of the times, the agents on Zillow are, some of them are. I'm not gonna say they're not, because I know a couple that are people that are on there, that are that preferred agent up top, whatever it is. I mean, they're very good agents. They do an amazing job with real estate. But that's like a 1%.
Yeah.
The rest of the people are just like, hey, look, I'm on Zillow. Find me on Zillow.
Right.
But they may not know what they're doing or how to do it with.
It's a very broad market. I cover everything, everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have a specialty. I do this. All right. What you got next?
Number 4. The clients that come in and say, we'll just figure it out when we get there.
What about them?
Is that where the stress spikes? It's one of those myths that.
From a realtor standpoint, that has a mentality that I like to rock and roll with. That is super stressful for me, because now it's like I got to make sure that I perform. I perform under pressure. You know what I mean? But it's also one of those where if you're coming in last minute, and look at him, just a ball of anxiousness.
He is.
Is he unsure?
He's unsure.
Of course he is.
There we go.
Waiting to the last minute is going to cause undue stress.
Correct.
There's no reason to go last minute, especially when, the military sets people up with structure and guidance and, how to do this, that, and the other. So it's just going to be one of those things where expect to be burdened when you wait until the last minute. And
like we talked about in the last episode, again, it takes 45 days to find a house and close on it.
Piss poor planning, piss poor performance.
Yep. You hit that.
But I said, real quick, I just to touch back on that, it's undue stress to a realtor as well, because some people can't handle that under pressure, pressure under fire kind of thing, where if someone comes at me and they're like, yo, I'll be there in 10 days. I'm like, you didn't know? I'm like, oh, yeah, we knew. We just had a lot going on.
Yep.
All right, cool. Well, here's going to be the expectation.
Right.
I need you to find an Airbnb. Or if you have a house in mind already, we can go after it and see, but you're not going to have that house for at least 20 days minimum.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So from that standpoint, you better find you an Airbnb. You better get temp housing. You better find an extended stay somewhere. Right. You better have a friend you can crash.
But then that also leads into, and I had it written down, the kids, if you're traveling with kids and moving them, then they're starting school. They're in limbo for X weeks.
Yeah.
With school. That's not ideal.
No.
The spouse, they have to start from scratch and figure it out.
Pretty much. Yeah, I think just like the waiting for the whole, I think playing the waiting game is just, it's not necessary. Like, I get it. Some people do that. That's how they roll. That's how they roll in life. But the PCS, it's not, please don't do it. As soon as you find out you're moving, start looking for
your team.
Your team in that area, information on where to go, who to be, where to do, all that stuff.
Yeah, that was a big thing that we talked about in the last one.
Yeah. Get
your team set up wherever you're stationed. Start as soon as you get your orders. Hit the ground running as a family. Not just one person has to do it, unless that's how your family works.
We've had plenty of people where the spouse is the driver of the move because the service member is just like,
right.
Whatever keeps them happy. I don't have time. I'm working.
Exactly.
I'm
still detaching.
I'm op tempo. I'm not going to enroll in. I can't do things.
I'm deploying next week, and then we're moving when I get back.
Yeah.
Those are fun. We'll get you signed up on a boat.
All right.
Okay. Well, those are all of our myths.
Okay.
Or all of the ones that I wanted to hit for now.
Okay.
How can these myths actually affect you?
The we'll just figure it out part can be a huge waste of money. In my opinion, looking at this, it says we'll just figure it out. Temporary housing, bleeding cash. Yeah, didn't even see that there, but yeah. Understanding that, look, if you're waiting to the last minute, you better have that cash reserved to be able to stay in an extended stay or an Airbnb or something like that. Or hope to God that you waited to the last minute and we call base housing, and base housing, oh yeah, we got a spot for you, come on in. That just doesn't happen.
Right.
Sometimes it does. But I think from waiting to the last minute, it's going to be a huge financial burden for people.
Emotionally.
That they wouldn't understand. The emotional side of things, 100%. But once you can recover emotionally because it's one of those but now it's But now it's like cash. You gotta go. Okay, how do we save that much money back when we're
Right.
first and 15th paid, or we get a paycheck on the, however their pay schedule is going to be. How do we save that money? Another one I would be is making sure that people understand. Base housing. The base housing is a safe choice myth. I mean, like I said, it's a safe choice if buying a home right now is not in your cart. Whether you don't want to, you don't have the cash reserve for closing costs and whatever else.
Or the inventory just isn't there for you.
Your PCSing here and your BAH isn't high enough to get what you want. Base housing.
There you
go. Yeah, I mean, people don't understand. Like, everybody hears like horror stories of like base housing, but I mean, it's not a horror stories with like it's a safe bet for people that just aren't ready to buy.
Right. I agree.
Yeah.
I'm not putting down base housing.
No. I know, but I just hear like there's always a stigma about base housing in certain bases. Like,
the only stigma I've ever really heard about is the fact that it's just the long time periods to get in.
Well, like back in the day when I was in Lejeune, I mean, like you always heard about like TT2, like Tarwood Terrace, where it was just like, oh my God, jarheads live here.
Well, there's two sides to that story.
And then like another thing, like I remember doing workups at AP Hill. And we went and, we didn't, they brought us in overnight or just to chill, from AP Hill up into DC to go see, just to walk the Capitol and all that kind of stuff. And they put us in some Air Force base, I think it was an Air Force base, or old Air Reserve wing, that had condemned barracks. They weren't condemned. They weren't condemned. They just, at that time, they were not to the Air Force's standards. So they didn't put anybody in
Camp Lejeune barracks.
So we were like, yeah, this is great. They were kind of sketch because they were dirty and just like you could tell. Like,
you hear
they
forgot about the paranormal shows was an old hospital.
No, they weren't like that. They were just like, there's a little bit of mold in the corner. We can't live here. Jarheads are like, yeah, where's my scuzz brush and bleach? I got that.
It's funny. Okay. So we wrote down a little smart PCS housing framework, right?
Where's it? Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay, I see you.
The 4-question filter. The things to really think about when you're moving. Okay. Yeah. How long are we really here for?
Yeah. I mean, it's a big thing because it's one of those where it just depends on the type of house for now.
Right.
Like I said in the last episode, is like you don't have to have that forever home. You need to have the house.
Especially if you're just here for 3 years.
Yeah.
You know that you're only
You don't need the 5-bedroom,
3
3-bathroom, 10-acre farmette.
3-person
for just you.
Or that. Or just you.
I mean, find the condo. 2-bedroom, 1-bath condo. 3-bedroom, 2-bath townhouse condo, whatever. That's an investment property, probably.
Yeah. Those
for
are
now.
Great investment properties.
Buy the house for now.
What happens if orders change?
When you say what happens if orders change, are we talking about as we're going through the home buying process?
No, just purchasing. Like, would it make sense? Like, this is one of those questions that you have to ask yourself, like, what happens if our orders change? Is this house going to be good for us? Is our situation?
Oh, gotcha. Like if we got new orders.
Right.
Like, hey, we've been here for 3-4 years. We got new orders.
We were expecting to stay, but hey.
Got it. Oh, okay. I mean, that goes back to the whole professional that's going to help you out, find you a home in that sustainable area. The one that's going to guide you in your military relocation. Like I said, relocation and buying a home, then, military relocation kind of sits off to the side a little bit because, like, there's more that goes into it that some of these cats need to know.
Right.
Like, I've never been here. I'm from Paducah, Kentucky, and I have no idea about Clarksville, Maryland, or Ellicott City, Maryland.
Is that a place?
Yeah.
The Kentucky place?
Yeah.
Oh.
I got buddies that live down there.
Interesting.
But that's where you like make sure you deep dive in what they want and what they need and what they, and have that understanding from the get-go. Being that military, that military-esque realtor, knowing that orders do come out of nowhere sometimes. A typical realtor is just going to be like, let's go find you a house. Cool. I love military people. Yay. VA loans.
Right.
Or I'm over here like, all right, cool. Blah, 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 blah. Hey, how many years you been in? About 15. Okay. So, You got 5 years left. If you're shooting for 20, or if you're going to 22, 23, you might have another rotation. You know, you could very well be like, hey, look, I'm good. You know, I'm at 15 or 16. My job has me here. I'm either going back down south or I'm, you know, going across the street to NSA. That's one of those where, like, as a military realtor, you got to understand that orders may come out of nowhere.
Okay.
So that's sustainability in the neighborhood and making sure that house is rentable, sellable, and equitable.
Which then goes into the next question you could ask yourself. Can this house flex with your deployment?
Yeah, I mean, that goes back into the whole thing, depending on your deployment length. I mean, you always have people to fall back onto to just check the house out, get the mail, make sure it's not flooding. But if you're gone for, like, you know, that 2-year TDY.
Right.
Or if you're on deployment for 12 months, or you're just on like an open-ended, like, hey, I got this rotational stuff, I don't know what's going on. I mean, that's always one of those, like, short-term rental kind of things, making sure that the house is one of those where, you know, you can rent it. It's affordable to rent for somebody else. You know, or if worse comes to worse, you're just like, yo, let's dump it. Let's sell it.
Right. Which then goes into the next question. What would the exit plan be?
Exit plan's going to go in. Exit plan's always going to be based on what your end goal is of the home, in my opinion. What's your end goal at the home? Did you want it as an investment property? Did you come into this thinking, knowing we're not going to be here for the long haul?
You're here for 3 to 4 years. You know that.
Yeah.
Do you plan to sell it, or do you plan to keep it?
So the question I get, the answer I get to that question when I ask it is, my idea is, because I've seen so many people use their VA loan multiple times, is to buy this, live here, and when I PCS, keep this home. Okay, cool. Perfect.
Right.
That gives me that needle and that true north of what kind of home
we want to look for.
An advisement, you know, advising to be in that fiduciary. What kind of home should we be looking for? An easier rentable, low maintenance home, or 5-bed, 3-bath, 10 acres where a tenant's got to cut 10 acres of grass? No one wants to do that.
Not ideal.
Kidding me?
I don't think a lot of people have time for that anymore.
Half the time people rent, they're like, hey, I'll rent it because I don't want to own a home.
Right.
Look, I just don't want that responsibility of having to cut the grass.
The people that move into the condos on purpose for that reason,
Correct.
too.
Yeah, so I mean, like, the exit plan is always going to be based on what's the end game with the home in general. Oh, no. I never thought about keeping it. Yeah, the idea was to keep it and rent it out. Exit plan is we go into it knowing that, but going into the process is understanding that, hey, look, this house is gone in 4 years, so let's go find something that's going to, worst case scenario, turn into a rental property. Like, they don't want it, but it's like I said, worst case scenario.
Right.
It is now an investment.
Okay. I like your answers. You did very good.
I mean, I try to do good at my job.
And we kept short, and
Little Kevin come hanging out.
yeah, he was just gonna be my little blankie today.
Kevin.
Best friend.
All right, cool. What else we got here? Anything else in here?
No, I kept this one short.
Okay.
So that we can kind of go into other subjects in different episodes.
Yeah, I mean, like, PCS. Yeah, I mean, PCS housing. You know, it's not about winning the market. It's about and meaning that, you know, planning. And does it make sense? And do we need to go through the stress, or should we go through the quick stress, or at least should we go through it to make sure it's not stressful? Yeah, don't. It's
for everyone's sake in the process. Keep
the
family calm. Keep yourself calm. Keep us calm.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing here, you know, the cost of getting it wrong. The cost of getting it wrong. Do I buy a house? Should you buy a house? And we as realtors are like, hey, I think it would be a better option for you to rent.
Right.
Because of all the analytics that go to the conversation we had with your consult. Nope, I'm buying. All right.
And then you make a bad choice, and then you're upset, and then you have to.
Well, I mean, the upset piece thing would be is like, hey, look, I'm leaving. I told you I didn't want an investment property. I got orders. So what's my net proceeds here when I sell it?
Oh, well, $30,000.
You're bringing $15,000 to the table. You're bringing $14,000 to the table. You're bringing X amount of money to the table. All right, well then how much would it be to rent? I was like, property manager, market value, blah blah blah. You're breaking even. You're not making any money except for your mortgage being paid, so you're making money.
Your mortgage is paid.
That doesn't seem like it's worth it. I'm like,
You'd rather bring 30,000 to the table.
your mortgage is being paid.
Right.
Like our property, I mean, like I think we made like when we left Carolina, our house was down there. I mean, we had a home warranty on it, and we didn't really like there was no gouging because it was constantly just trying to get it rented out. We made like what $25-$50 on it a month, if that.
No, it was like 250, but
I remember when we first started, it wasn't. When we first started, it was like we were like, okay, $50, 20, whatever.
well,
But
that's
the mortgage is being paid. Somebody else is paying the mortgage.
Yeah. Definitely shop those property managers too, because some of them trying to get you. So random. What a random thought.
I know, right?
John's random thought of the day. Well,
next episode, what are we talking about? This is going to be one that we got to be touchy with. We got to be careful with this one because that whole like.
well, we can.
I mean, it's PCSing with kids, schools, zones, and the mistake parents regret.
Yeah, we can make that a quick episode.
I mean,
too.
we'll be PC and fair housing-ish about it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it goes back to the whole thing, like I was saying during this one, is that you got people from like wherever the heck they come from, and they're coming to the quote unquote big city. You don't.
The big city.
If you think about this country in a whole, like the DMV is the big city. I mean, New York's great, but if you look at the DMV, I mean, like look at the populace. Obviously New York City, big city, New York, whatever, Big Apple. But like when you come to DMV and the military, it's like the military is here. It's like the military is here.
We're 45 minutes away from
the things. I know. But yeah, we'll get into that. I think that'll be a good one. Just to have like a quick what's going on.
We don't have to make it long. I want to do this in short bursts.
Yeah.
That way people can filter what they're actually trying.
And I think a big thing too is understanding after, we're not understanding, sorry. I think a big thing that I want to get into, whether it's the next one or the one after, is unraveling a little bit about the VA loan.
I think we should bring a lender in to help you do that, not me.
We can do that. Like I said, when I say unravel it, because it's one of those where like I know a lot about.
Yep.
And it's one of those where like there's some things that we just don't do that the VA loan offers that I know a lot.
Yeah.
So I got to figure out. Honestly, there's like a couple lenders that we could talk to, within it.
Yeah. Well, you can think about that offline.
Yeah.
And we'll wrap this bad boy up.
Cool. All right, my homies.
I hope this was helpful.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was pretty cool because people are going to be like, oh, wow. And obviously the idea is to keep questions like, if we do more myths, I would love to do more myths because there's so many more myths about the whole, like the moving, the buying, the process. Like myth. And who was it? Somebody out in California, one of my referral partners out that way, posted the best post today. And the thing that we touched it yesterday was like, he's a Navy veteran. I think he was like, what did he say, 15? And it was one of those where he it's like your 6-hour course doesn't trump my 22. Your 6-hour course doesn't trump my 22 years of living the life.
There you go.
I was just like,
exactly.
Very well. But yeah, all right, cool. Share, like,
subscribe,
comments. We would love comments. People just love it, and they throw me some claps. And yeah, get it, Logan.
Tell me if
whatever.
we're missing things.
Yeah, I mean, I really want to know, like, hey, what do we need to do?
If you want us to answer questions about something, tell us.
Are people just watching and listening here and there every now and then just to?
Oh man,
it's John and Becky. It's John and Becky. We have to watch it because what if they ask us about it? Dude, I'm never asking. If you want to watch this, you watch it. Exactly. If you don't, I could. That's on you.
We're just hashtagging things so people that are actually like using TikTok or YouTube,
the search bars and all the things. I mean, that's what it's here for. I mean, when we start doing this, yeah.
PCS season, hashtag PCS season. Oh, the Logans.
Who are these jabronis?
Anyways.
All right. Peace out, my homies.